Hello and welcome to another episode of Fireside Chats with Mother's Milk Bank. My name is Lena Gregory. I'm the Donor Relations and Outreach Manager here at Mother's Milk Bank in Arvada, Colorado. And I am joined today by Kitsia, who is on our Donor Relations team. Happy National Breastfeeding Month. It is August. And so we're celebrating National Breastfeeding Month, and we're also here with our proclamation that it is Colorado Breastfeeding Month as well. Kitsia is on our Donor Relations team here at Mother's Milk Bank. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. To start, can you just tell us a little bit what an IBCLC is, what that important acronym means, and how did you find this line of work?
Yeah, so IBCLC, or International Board Certified Lactation Consultant, it's a mouthful. It is a healthcare profession, and we specialize in the management of breast and chest feeding. It is the highest level of certification that somebody could get for lactation, and we are required to go through extensive training, clinical supervision, being supervised for clinical hours, and also a rigorous exam. And so I first became involved in lactation and became really interested after the birth of my son Ian, who I talk a lot about, and I realized there wasn't a lot of support out there. It was really limited, and being a person of color, it was really important to me that I was able to be that safe place for other people, and not just people of color, but all moms and all parents.
Sure. Well, I am so glad that you found your passion and that you found your way to Mother's Milk Bank. And while we talk about lactation at Mother's Milk Bank all the time, August as Colorado and National Breastfeeding Month, it's a really important time to designate that we have a time set aside in the year to talk about the importance of protecting, promoting, and supporting families, lactating families. So tell me some things that you think are important that are going to get families set up to have the kind of lactation journey that they're looking for.
Yes, so I could ramble on and on about this, but really the number one is education. I can't stress that enough. Education is going to help you set realistic expectations, which we see a lot of unrealistic expectations on social media, on TV. We're just surrounded by it. So education, it's never too early. Do it prenatally. Do it even before you conceive, it's really, really important. And then number two, I would say, is find your village. If you don't have a village, then, try to create one or get involved in activities and groups where you can meet other parents who are going through it with you. And then last, I would say, let's see here, use your resources. So there's so many resources out there, but a lot of the times we are, isolated at home with a new baby, and so we're not really maybe feeling energetic enough to go out and look for those resources, or maybe we just don't know that they're there. So I would say actually one of the greatest resources I think we have is donor human milk, especially for those small medically fragile babies, right? And for any baby who needs to be supplemented in those early days of life, it's just so important.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit more about that. I'm glad you brought up donor milk, but tell me why that is such an important resource and how that supports parents to successfully breast or chest feed.
Yeah, so if you are a new parent and you're thinking, I want to, exclusively breast or chest feed, and then your baby has their own agenda. So your baby's born and they need to be supplemented for whatever reason. Maybe your milk is a little bit delayed, or maybe your baby came a little bit early and needs a little bit of practice at breastfeeding. The peace of mind that you get from knowing that this is available, it's just such a huge gift. So grateful for our donors who make that that resource available to every family who needs it. There's actually a study done in 2013 where they concluded that babies who needed to be supplemented in the early days of life and received donor milk, they were breastfed for a longer period than the babies who received formula supplementation. And so we know that breast milk has so many amazing properties and benefits. We're setting them up for lifelong health. We're establishing a healthy gut microbiome. We are reducing risks of so many things that could happen later on in life. And so it's just a really, really beautiful gift that we have.
Yeah. It's always amazing to me how much evidence is just continually being found that starting babies in this physiological normal way is just sets the lifelong stage for health. But knowing that and doing it can be two different things, right?
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for people who are looking for support, that kind of need that extra little bit of support as they navigate those first few days with their baby?
Yes. So the first one, I'm going to say, be kind to yourself, be patient, and give yourself some grace, because you just met each other. You're learning to do this together. It's this whole new dance, like you say. Second, I would say, be prepared for the unexpected. So expect the unexpected, right? Because like I mentioned earlier, your baby has their own agenda, and they're changing all the time, and they're hitting milestones, and they're growing, and just when we think we've got it down, they have a little developmental leap and something changes. So just be flexible and be ready to kind of go with the flow of your baby. And I guess that kind of leads me into my third one is, maybe I'll give you four, but the third one is let go of control, right? There are certain things that we can control, and there are certain things we can't. And by letting go of control, we are opening ourselves up to be able to ask for help and to accept that things can sometimes look a little bit different and still work. And then, like I said, my fourth would be communication. So asking for help when you feel like you need it. Going to groups for support and communicating with moms, looking for tips and tricks, talking with loved ones about everything that is going on. I think all of those things are really, really important for making sure that you feel confident and that you feel like you can meet your feeding goals.
Absolutely. And we have one of those support groups here at the Mother's Milk Bank in Arvada, that we have a baby cafe that meets every Friday at 11. So Kitsia, can you tell us a little bit about that group?
Yes, so Baby Cafe, like you see up here on the wall, it is a cozy environment where parents can come together and just really share experiences and talk about what has worked for them and what has not. You don't have to have challenges to come to Baby Cafe. You could come and hang out with us, and we can just chat about anything you want to chat about. We meet Fridays at 11 a.m. here in Arvada at the Milk Bank. But if you are not in Colorado or in Arvada, then I would encourage you to go to Baby Cafe USA and find a Baby Cafe that is in your area, so that you are being connected to those support groups.
Yeah, that's so important to know that there are support groups wherever you are. You can also look at your hospital or birth center where you deliver. They may have options for you. BabyCafeUSA.org has great resources. La Leche League also has great resources. Check with your state or local breastfeeding coalition. They will have a ton of resources for you, both for groups where you can connect with other parents and for one-on-one consultation if you've got some trickier issues that you're trying to navigate. Well, thank you, Kitsia, so much for sharing your insights and your expertise with us today. It's been great chatting with you, and I hope that we see some people at Baby Cafe, and always feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yes, it was lovely to be here and talk about something so important.
Of course. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Fireside Chats. As always, if you have questions, you can call the Milk Bank, or you can find us online at milkbankcolorado.org. Thank you so much. Have a great day.